1847, 12 ships arrived at the port of Messina in Sicily. They came from the east, carrying silks, spices, and precious goods. But along with them, they brought something else, something invisible, something deadly. The people who gathered at the port welcomed the ships with their usual excitement. But what they encountered this time was horrifying. Most of the sailors on board were dead. The ones who were still alive were gravely ill. Their bodies were covered in black boils. They burned with fever, and they were vomiting blood. The port authorities ordered the ships to leave immediately, but it was already too late. The Black Plague had reached Europe. In the years to come, this disease would sweep across Europe, Asia, and North Africa, killing an estimated 75 to 200 million people. 1/3 of Europe's population, in some regions, even half, would vanish. This was one of the most devastating pandemics in human history. But this story is not just about death. It is also a story of great transformation. Because after the Black Death, the world would never be the same again. The cause of the Black Death, as we know today, was a bacterium called Yersinia pestis. Carried by fleas, this bacterium traveled across continents on merchant ships, hitching a ride on rats. From the Mongol lands to the Mediterranean, from Venice to Paris, from Istanbul to London, nowhere was safe. Medieval Europe was unprepared for this plague. People had no idea what they were facing. Many believed it was a punishment from God. Some blamed Jews, lepers, or foreigners. Some turned to faith even more, and the streets saw flagellants, people who whipped themselves for penance. Others believed the world was ending and gave themselves to indulgence and pleasure. Amidst all this chaos, something unexpected began to unfold. The plague emptied the countryside. Fields were left untended. Homes were abandoned. Landlords found themselves without peasants to work their lands. This gave the surviving peasants a bargaining chip. Labor became valuable. Peasants began demanding higher wages, better living conditions, and freedom of movement. Some nobles refused these demands, and revolts broke out in some regions. But nothing would ever be the same again. The feudal system began to crumble. In its place, wage laborers, craftsmen, and small-scale producers began to rise. Cities expanded, trade flourished. Some people grew wealthy with inherited land, while others made a living with new trades. This economic activity transformed not only individual lives, but the fate of an entire continent. And at the end of this movement, one of the brightest periods in European history was born, the Renaissance. Trust in the church was shaken. The clergy, powerless against the plague, lost their sanctity in the eyes of the people. Now, people began to question everything. Why didn't medicine work? Why did so many people die? Why was God silent? These questions laid the foundations of the Age of Reason. People no longer acted solely on faith, but began to rely on observation, experimentation, and reason. Physicians started to study the human body. Interest in sciences like astronomy and anatomy grew in universities. The Black Death did not just shake the body, it awakened the mind. The Black Death was not just a plague. It shook societies, questioned beliefs, and shattered systems. But it also led to the birth of a new world. Many of the values we hold today, may have been reshaped in the aftermath of this great catastrophe. Sometimes, the greatest transformations are born from the darkest moments.